Not many games have done this before, if any.
It's different than other video games.
That first exit out of Fort Tarsis when you're on the platform and then jump down.
There's a real sense of wonder and magic there.
That's what really comes across and really makes it feel like super heroic is really the word.
You do feel like a superhero. That's what the team is going for.
It's been a long, long ride, but it's been fun.
Time to get back to Fort Tarsis. To a job well done.
The only kind there is. I'm on my way.
Growing up with that idea of the comic book hero, at first you just enjoy it for what it is, that pulpy, cool adventure story. But as I grew older, it started to have different dimensions for me. I'm John Warner, and I'm the game director on Anthem. Setting Anthem up in this dangerous world that's been abandoned by its gods, where all of humanity has to live behind the safety of these fortress-like cities, is a really nice opportunity for us to set you up as a hero.
Anthem is a world that is centered around the Anthem creation. It's this force of change and creation. I'm Mark Darrah, I'm the executive producer on the Anthem team. The world is like almost stuck, mostly built. It's not fully built, it's constantly changing, and it means there's these huge creatures. Humanity is essentially out of scale. They're kind of too small, too weak for the world. So javelins exist as a way for humanity to interact with the world and keep themselves safe.
General Tarsis, which is a little bit of lore, she basically created the first armor sets that were crafted by hand. Michael Gamble, and my primary thing on Anthem is a lead producer. And so this tradition and this generational knowledge was passed down from freelancer to freelancer over hundreds of years.
The brave few can do this, and it's something that you inherit. Only people who have these powerful javelin suits can go outside of the safety of Fort Tarsis and explore the wilderness. Ben Irving, I'm one of the lead producers for Anthem. You don't quite understand the mystery of the javelin and how it works, and that plays into the mystery of the world.
Not only are you larger in stature, but your role in society is so much more expansive. If you're Peter Parker and then you suddenly become Spider-Man, there's this cool transitional moment, there's this cool threshold where you go from normal to heroic. In a very similar way, when you as a pilot climb into your javelin, you go through this threshold of going from the normal, the average, to something that's bigger, something that is heroic. Honestly, the hero that stuck with me across all these years has been the Human Torch. This sense of freedom that came with him, you know, he was this cocky dude, and he could just leap into the sky at any moment. And not only fly away, but he like bursts into flame, and it was always so dramatic, and it was so cool. And that's an image that has stuck with me, you know, across all these years.
When you watch and look at superheroes, even in like fixed medium like comic books, they very rarely are static, and like people aren't standing face to face punching each other in the face. There's a lot of movement, there's a lot of mobility, and a lot of moving around. For Anthem, one of the biggest things that I think sets it apart from other games that people might compare us to is that sense of mobility.
When we first started with Anthem, really we started with just like jumping and then gliding. But one thing we found out all the time is, even myself included, I wanted to stay in the air longer and longer and longer. So we said, you know, what the hell, let's just throw in flight. And that just brought the joy, the fun to the game. I'm Elaine Baxter. I'm a DD, known as the development director. Favorite superhero it's Thor. It's classic Kirby. It's his flight. I mean, he wasn't a stand on the ground, solid fighting. I mean, he did that, but he also had verticality to him. So it was that depth that you could fight in the air, you could fight on the ground, you could fight underwater, you could do all that type of stuff. And that's one thing I really, really liked, because in a sense, he could explore more.
And so we would play with flight, and we're like, oh, it breaks too many things. Like, creatures don't really work if you fly everywhere, and the world wasn't really built. Maybe we should turn flight off. Okay, but flight's the coolest thing that we have, so maybe let's keep it on. All right, that means that everybody has to come together and sign up for solving all these crazy problems so that we can have flight.
The world
needs to be built almost like, I kind of describe it as Swiss cheese. I'm Victor Krengle, I'm the level design director. I've always loved Optimus Prime. I know he's not technically a superhero, but he's for me. We do a lot of work to support the players approaching every opportunity in the game from any angle, from above or below or around. The challenge and the joy of this game is I can just go, whoop, I'm going to the top of that right now, and just take off and fly.
What we want in Anthem is for you to feel that same sense of, I can fly and you should be. And I think that's what really comes across and really makes it feel like, oh wow, this is something different.
It's the movement and the traversal. So that includes flying, but it also includes dashing, jumping, reloading, pulling your weapon out. You have to feel very fluid. You have to be able to transition from different states very, very easily. From swimming to flying to running to sprinting, all those things have to transition beautifully. So once you have all that, you really do feel like you're part of something stronger than yourself that allows you to do those things. So nailing that at the very beginning was key.
BioWare has made something that is our tightest, best gameplay experience ever, but still has those roots in having an interesting narrative story that they can engage in.
I hope that when players finally get their hands on Anthem, they're going to take away, honestly, that feeling of versatility, freedom, and agency. Those are the most important feelings.
I've had trouble picking a favorite javelin.
The Ranger, it's more of the commando.
The Colossus is really big.
There's a lot of freedom in how you load out these javelins.
You can really customize your suit.
It feels very gratifying.
That's really what this is about.